saying they're big. These guys are got to be big, big.
Both
they're
of these
shorter than me, but they outweigh me by like 100 pounds.
Yeah, the smaller one's 350 pounds. So,
golly, man. See, that kind of scares me because we were kind of wanting to see if, like, maybe sometime down the road we can get in the ring with y'all. But I'm 6'6". I'm only 175. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like 0% muscle. So proud of that. Santiago, I think, how big are you?
The what?
How big are you?
5'11", 315.
Yeah, so we kind of even each other out there, I think.
Yeah, you got size and height. Yeah.
We were going to use the Doomsday Device as our finisher.
Jesus, who's going to pick them up?
We'll see who's up to it.
Well, so I know you're out of Lubbock, but I've seen other people. There's like Old School Wrestling in Odessa, and I can't think of the other ones off the top of my head. But so y'all all work together?
Yes. Yes and no. The wrestlers all work where they want to work. It's like it's independent contracting, but it's not. It's like I don't know how to describe it, but they work wherever they want to work. If a guy wants to, if Axel can better describe the workers' environment, because I don't work for anybody but Rampage right now. But as to answer that from my perspective, we work together in the as far as the fact is that we don't do anything to intentionally hurt the other one's product, if that makes sense. But as far as Axel or Alton can better answer that question.
Yeah, I work for multiple places around Texas. Rampage, SCP, also in Lubbock. Amarillo was supposed to be on Texas Mania next weekend, but that got postponed. And so, yeah, it's kind of, we can work wherever we want.
We work Mineral Wells. We work a couple other places. I was supposed to get to work in Mexico. Let's hope that the coronavirus doesn't ruin that.
That's really cool, man. My grandma's from Mineral Wells. Like, I live in Snyder. It's a really small town, like maybe, what would you say, Santiago? 12,000, 13,000 people. And I think Mineral Wells has less people than that. So the fact that there's wrestling there, that's really cool to me, man.
There's actually 2 wrestling promotions in Mineral Wells.
Oh, wow.
There's Mineral Wells Professional
that.
Wrestling, and there's the Texas Outlaw promotion, and they both run out of Mineral Wells.
There's a lot of wrestling in that area. The DFW. Yeah. I mean, I know Mineral Wells is technically a part of DFW, but
it's only about maybe an hour away.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, anything within an hour of either Dallas or Fort Worth is DFW. You know what I mean? Like, I'll go.
PW also works. They've got a lot of guys that come in from VIP wrestling in the Dallas area.
And DFW All Pro.
Dallas guys there's a lot of promotions. Sometimes I don't mean this in a disparaging way, but sometimes I feel like there's more promotions than there are wrestlers in Dallas.
Yeah, no, almost.
There's a lot of them, man. It's crazy.
But there's definitely more promotions than there are good wrestlers in Dallas.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but that gives everybody a place to work, so that's cool. Like, I'm not complaining at all. But yeah, there's wrestling all over
in the Houston area.
Yeah, there's a ton of wrestling in Houston. There's like 6 promotions, and then you got Booker T's promotion. So there's.
I don't think Steven knows this about me, but when I was 17, I was trying to save up to go to back when it was PWA.
Yeah.
Pro Wrestling Alliance, I think, or PWS, whatever he called it back then. Before he turned it to Reality of Wrestling, I was trying to go to that academy, but I had a kid, so that didn't work out.
Yeah, man. Having a family, really, especially when you're getting into wrestling, having a family kink in it. It sucks.
That's one of the reasons it took me so long.
Yeah.
As soon as you confirmed that y'all would be on the show, I told my wife, I said, hey, just so you know, if given the opportunity, I will hop in that ring, get my ass whooped just for views on YouTube. So, just fair warning. I
Yeah,
think
no,
it's so cool.
we had some friends over here tonight that we were talking about like as far as like the East Coast and how there's a lot of wrestling in that area as well, and how close everything is to itself. And me being a nurse, I told my wife at one point when I started wrestling, like when I started actually traveling around and going to different places, I was like, well, I could take a nursing contract for like 13 weeks and go up there, and who knows how many, wrestling promotions I can hit, and work, because I can drive from, New York to Maryland faster than I can drive down to South Texas. And she was like, no. I was like, but like, it would really help like my wrestling career. She's like, that's not your career. You're a nurse. You just need to go to work and support your family. I don't care if you wrestle here and travel a little, but you're not doing that. And I'm like, oh man.
And that's the thing with wrestling in Texas. We went down to Laredo. Me and a couple of guys took a booking down in Laredo, and that's a 6.5 hour drive. We hear from a lot of guys that are like, oh man, I did 3 shows in 3 states. And that sounds impressive until you realize that they traveled an hour and a half. Because you can get to 3 different states and other places other than Texas in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mexican indies are horrible. Like, they're good in some parts and then they're horrible in some parts, because like you can hit 4 or 5 cities within 5 hours, right? And then you get the cities where it's clear across the country and it's like a 19-hour trip.
Oh yeah, and actually the promotion that I was supposed to wrestle for, or that I was actually slated to like do some big things for the promotion. The promotion is actually like 19 hours, like on the other side of Mexico, but I was going to be wrestling like just a little inside El Paso, so I was only going to have to travel 5.5 hours, but I was going to be representing a promotion that was like 12 hours from there. And I was like, I mean, that's cool, but that sucks that that's the way this works.
The only good thing is, like, Mexico has some beautiful scenery.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful country to get robbed or, like, just to see. Like, I was born there, but I'll call a spade a spade. Like, it's a beautiful place, but it's horrible at the same time.
Yeah.
We
So,
to get booked.
go ahead.
No, okay. I got booked for a while at a place called Onalaska, Texas, for a promotion called Maximum Wrestling, and it was like I don't want to over exaggerate, but I think it was like close to a 12-hour drive. It was like 9 or 10 hours, and this town was so small. It was in the venue wasn't even a building. It was like an awning in a park, and there was like 12 people there to see the show, if that. And most of the people that were there were like married to a wrestler. Their dad was a wrestler or something, and I took a carload of guys, and it was one of the most fun times I ever had. But they paid us with hot dogs, like in a Coke, and the hot dogs weren't even good hot dogs. They were like boiled in like a slow cooker, and
Crock-pot hot dogs.
Yeah, crock-pot hot dogs. Yeah, and but I had really good matches there with the people well, actually, that's not this. The third time I went back, I had a terrible match, but that's okay. But the first 2 times I had good matches, but it was the experience was fun, but I don't even know how to describe it. It was Alton and Axel weren't around at that point, but it was the second time we went and stayed on a boat and partied until the middle of the night. It was crazy. It was a crazy time.
Did you still get the bad performance, or did they say no?
Yeah. They gave me a hot. Yeah, they would give me 2 hot dogs because I'm the shit. So
They did sit there like, hey, brother, wasn't your night, so no dog tonight.
no,
You forgot an S on the end of that.
no, I didn't. The S was in the beginning. Shit. The shit.
Shit.
Drizzling.
So, how long have y'all been wrestling? Sorry, I can't talk tonight. How long have y'all been wrestling?
That I count 3 years. I started out with a promotion in Sweetwater, and I don't count anything that I did there. It was barely better than Backyard. So I don't count anything that I did before I got associated with Rampage.
Well, if it was from Sweetwater, I understand why.
He's not wrong.
That's very true. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a bitter rivalry with Sweetwater. Being from
Couldn't tell you why.
Sure does, yeah.
What about you, Axel? How long have you been at it?
It's been almost in April. It'll be 2 years that I've been training.
Nice.
Yeah, I started training in April of 18, and I debuted in August of 2018. So
he was a quick one.
Yeah. Oh no, it wasn't good. Don't get me wrong. My first match was shit. It was terrible. I've gone back and watched it. I shouldn't have been in the ring. I don't know why Grayson let me, but thank you.
Man, sometimes the best time. Sometimes people learn all they can learn in a training environment, and they have to realize that they're not as good as they think they are in a real environment to continue.
And that's exactly what I learned going back and watching that match.
Yeah, no, that's what happens. And I don't do that to be a dick. You know what I mean? Like that's as a teacher and having been coached. Sometimes that's the best way to learn is to realize, I haven't learned everything. I need to continue working and learning. And so a reality check, put your feet to the fire,
For sure. Yeah, I actually fell on my ass at the very beginning of that match. I was trying to jump in the ring and I just fell flat on my ass. And
that was hilarious.
Yes, but
and I was like, and of all people, the referee started talking shit to me, and I'm like, you shut your mouth. Don't look at me right now.
He could have gotten the ring without falling on his ass.
Well.
Fair enough. I've been wrestling for about, 6 years. It'll be 6 years this July. How long I've been wrestling. I've been training for 7 years officially. I don't count anything I did before that. But I like to say I've been prepping for this shit my whole life. But I started the Rampage Dojo. I started Rampage Wrestling. And I've worked with some of the best trainers in the world to learn how to become a better coach and a better wrestler. I've worked with Tom Pritchard, with Rip Rogers, with Coach Gary, with Bob Evans. We had Shelton Benjamin at the Rampage Dojo a couple years ago for a seminar. We've had the Odd Squad, Kenny and Mikey. I've learned from Abyss. I've learned from a lot of different people. And
Spirit Squad, not Odd Squad.
Yeah,
we
Spirit
have
Squad.
had the
I'm
Odd
sorry.
Squad,
Yeah, the
not-
Odd Squad is a tag team out of. I'm sorry. The Odd Squad is a tag team out of Dallas. The Spirit Squad, yes, Mike Mondo and Ken Doan. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Well, that's cool. What was the wrestler that made you want to be a wrestler? For me, like back in the day, I grew up watching WCW, and it would have had to been when I seen Sting come out with the red black face paint, come down from the rafters with the back and the whatever those fucking coats are called, trench coat.
I got
Duster.
Before anybody answers this question, I have to say something about red and black Sting. I think that only people from West Texas enjoyed the red and black Sting because anybody I've ever met outside of this area thought that was the dumbest crap they'd ever seen in their whole life.
You know what's funny?
But I
is
loved
as
it.
I-
He
when
looked
I've
like he
gone
was
back and
embarrassed
watched
all
it,
the
I feel that way. Yeah, because I was a big, growing up, I was a Wolfpack guy. I was like, yeah, and then when Sting finally went to the Wolfpack, I was like, yeah, because I love Sting, and then, but like as I've gone back and watched it, I'm like, God, that was just awful. That should have just never happened. Sting should have never joined the NWO ever.
Yeah, no.
Maybe I'll have to go back and rewatch that.
Yeah, it's really silly as an adult. I can understand my dad because my dad would only watch Goldberg. That's the only thing he would watch because he thought to this day he still says Goldberg is real. Even like me being a promoter and like a trainer and everything, I'm like, no, Dad, Goldberg was just really terrible. He's like, no, he was real. Yeah. I'm like, he was terrible. My dad,
he was really hurting people.
yeah, he ended Bret Hart's career. Yeah, come on, he hurts himself.
Yeah.
He gives himself concussions.
Yeah, that's not anybody I want to work with. So anyways, but I don't think anybody outside of West Texas likes the NWO Wolfpack Sting. But I'm with Axel. I loved the Wolfpack. I liked Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. So I thought it was cool that they broke off. They should have not had an outside. They should have just been like the outsiders again.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have done the whole Lex Luger Macho Man. It ended up getting really dumb.